A married couple adopted a male child. Few years later, twin boys were born to them. The blood group of couple is AB positive and O negative. The blood group of the three sons is A positive, B positive and O positive. The blood group of the adopted son is. So this condition is being given where a couple whose blood group is AB positive and O negative, they have adopted a male child, and after that they gave birth to twin children, and their blood group is the blood group of all the three sons is A positive, B positive and O positive. We are supposed to identify the blood group of adopted child. So for this blood group, the children will be from A and B blood group, and that's why adopted child's blood group is O positive, mentioned in option A, right? So the blood group of adopted son is A, O positive, because for this blood group parents, the blood group of children will be A and B. And the question says that blood group of three sons is A positive, B positive and O positive. For these parents, it is only possible to have A and B blood groups, and hence answer is O positive. The blood group of adopted child is O positive, mentioned in option, right? So you can go through this discussion. Next question now. At present, scientists can determine the arrangement or relative positions of genes or DNA sequences on a chromosome. How does this knowledge benefit? So this question is related to gene sequencing, wherein the scientists try to identify the sequence of various nitrogen bases on the DNA, right? And based upon that, the association of those characteristics and those nitrogen bases and the characteristics of those nitrogen bases will be identified easily. Fine. So first, it is possible to know the pedigree of livestock. So yes, based upon this, we can easily identify the pedigree of livestock. Second, it is possible to understand the causes of all human diseases. That is also possible if we are aware of the genetic sequence related to human beings. Because based upon the analysis of the gene sequence of human beings, we can identify the genes which are vulnerable to certain diseases, and hence our knowledge with respect to the cause of human disease will increase. Third statement, it is possible to develop disease resistant animal breeds. That is also possible, because once we are aware of the fact that okay, these are the genes which are making this particular breed vulnerable, we can remove those genes or we can silence those genes so that the vulnerability of that animal breed is reduced with respect to various diseases. And hence even third statement is correct statement. Hence all these statements are correct. Answer is D. Next, when the bark of a tree is removed in a circular fashion all around near its base, it gradually dries up and dies because of which of the following? So whenever a bark of a tree is removed from the base in a circular fashion, at that time it dies because we are removing or we are restricting the flow of food as well as water, and that is the result of damage to phloem. So this question is related to xylem and phloem, which are the vascular tissues present in the plants. And xylem is a vascular tissue which helps in the flow of water from roots to other parts of the plant, and phloem ensures that the food produced by leaves is transmitted to different parts. And hence, if phloem, this question is related to phloem, if phloem is getting damaged, then it would be difficult for roots to receive food energy, and hence that particular bark of tree will die. So the answer is B, roots are starved of energy. Because roots are starved of energy, that particular bark of tree dries up and dies subsequently. Right? So you can go through this particular discussion. So it is related to phloem and xylem. So phloem is important because the phloem makes sure that the movement of food and nutrients is provided to most of the parts of plant. And if that is getting damaged, then the parts of plant body will not receive energy in the form of food, right? And that's why roots are not getting energy, and hence that particular bark will die subsequently. Next question now. Regular intake of fresh fruits and vegetables is recommended in the diet since they are a good source of antioxidants. How do antioxidants help a person maintain health and promote longevity? So, what is the role of antioxidants? That is the question. So, antioxidants, they neutralize the free radicals produced inside our body, and if free radicals are being neutralized by antioxidants that are being received through fruits, we will be protected from various diseases, right? So that is the rationale behind the eating up of fresh fruits, because from fresh fruits we get antioxidants, and those antioxidants will help us to address the problem of free radicals produced inside our body, because these antioxidants neutralize these free radicals, right? So answer is C. A company marketing food products advertises that its item do not contain trans fats, right? So what that company is marketing? It is marketing that its product do not contain trans fats. What does this campaign signify to the customers? So if that product is not means it does not contain trans fat, then what does it signify to the customer? So what are trans fats? Trans fats are unsaturated fatty acids, and they are obtained from both industrial as well as natural sources. For example, trans fats are obtained from ruminants naturally. That means those animals which can carry out rumification activity will be able to produce the trans fatty acids or trans fatty oil or ghee, right? Similarly, we can also obtain trans fats from industrial processes. So whenever hydrogen is added to vegetable oil, it produces the trans fat, and this trans fat is used for various food products, because trans fats increases the shelf life of those food products, especially bakery products, and also trans fat is comparatively cheaper source of oil, right? And that's why if a company is marketing that its products do not contain trans fat, then for sure we can say that the food products are not made up of hydrogenated oil, because as we have discussed, in industries, trans fats are produced by adding hydrogen to the vegetable oil, and that process is known as partially hydrogenated oil. That oil is known as partially hydrogenated oil, right? So if that product does not contain trans fat, then for sure it is not made up of hydrogenated oil. So first statement is correct statement. Second, the food products are not made up of animal fats or oil. So that is also correct, because we know that trans fats are also obtained naturally from animal sources, right? So second statement is also correct, because those products will not be made up of animal fat or animal oil. Third, the oils used are not likely to damage the cardiovascular health of the consumer. So this is very important point, because trans fats are considered as a reason for cardiovascular diseases. And that's why you must be aware of the fact that recently the government of India, that means in the month of December 2020, the government of India released guidelines with respect to the use of trans fats. And as per those guidelines, the products which contain trans fat or trans fatty acid, those products should not have the mass of trans fats more than 3% of the total mass of those products by 2021, and less than 2% by 2022. That means the government has given guidelines to reduce the content of trans fats from these products which are using those trans fatty acids or oils, right? So that is one. And those oils which consist of trans fats, that means suppose there is a oil which consists of trans fat, then those oil products should also reduce the percentage of trans fat content to less than 2% by 2021 itself, right? So these are the guidelines given by the government. Have you wondered why these guidelines are given? So these guidelines are given because trans fats are considered as a reason for cardiovascular diseases, and hence when a particular product do not contain trans fat, then it is not likely to damage the cardiovascular health of the consumers, and hence this statement is again correct statement. And that's why all these three statements are correct statements if a product do not consist of trans fats, right? So answer is D, 1, 2, 3, right? So in nutshell, we can say that trans fats are the fats which are obtained from animal sources or industrial sources, and they are considered as important reason for cardiovascular diseases. So answer is D.